The Filthy Show has extremely explicit content. It is not intended for children, adults, or anyone really, especially retards without a sense of humor. If you offend easily, please fuck off now. Welcome to another talent-stacked, fun fuel-filled episode of The Filthy Show. I'm here, Adam Luckey, with my co-host, Chris Rees, which I thought today maybe I'll let you choose your nickname.
Oh, okay.
I usually give him some kind of nickname that has something to do with him, like having with babies. And then I found out the saying "baby R-worder" was f***ing us in the algorithm.
Yeah.
For some reason, YouTube doesn't like it when you talk about R-wording babies.
Reese's Pieces.
Yeah, Reese's Pieces.
Chris Rees, the child licker.
That doesn't necessarily mean anything bad.
No, I
kinda
like kids.
Sometimes I lick my thumb and wipe my daughter's face off.
Yeah, me too. I lick your daughter.
Yeah, you just skip the thumb part.
Yeah. Well, why get my thumb dirty if I have a tongue?
That is a good point, actually. Well, our guest today, very excited to have him. Someone I've known for a little while. Used to come down and visit Austin from Canada. Now you live here. How you doing?
Yes,
Ben
sir.
Bankas.
What's going on, bro? Just settling into Austin life.
How long ago did you move here?
2 weeks today.
Oh, nice,
Oh, okay.
man.
But you came and visited like right before that, right? You were here for a little while.
I had got my U.S. visa because I'm Canadian from Toronto, and I just wanted to get down here ASAP and kind of reintegrate. And I had to find a place to live too.
Yeah.
So that was part of it.
Yeah, it's good to do like a scouting trip. I wish we could have done that. Me and my wife and like basically our newborn. She was like a year at that point. All we had was a Toyota Corolla, and we packed it with all the shit we had and just drove down here and just breathed
From
out
where?
Furniture. Seattle.
Okay. Oh shit.
It's not that bad of a drive. You could do it in like 2 or 3 days, but we took our time.
It was like 35 hours.
We took like 10 days to do it. We just had like a
geez.
little vacation. Had
That's
fun.
cool.
It was cool. Yeah. If we found like a cool spot, we'd stay there for a couple nights and hang out
Nice.
and bang with the baby in the bed. It's a king size bed.
Yeah.
What's your mindset on that? Is that bad? You got a baby's at the end
Banging
of the bed.
with the baby at the end of the bed?
You're on the other side of the bed.
I feel like I have a lot of sex standing up since I had a baby for sure.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the easiest way to do it. You sneak a quickie in like the
I feel like it
pantry.
definitely depends on the age of the child, right?
Yeah. Well, if it's like a 14-year-old playing a
At the
Game
end
Boy.
You're just pounding your wife out
Tell
behind
you
him.
what, when your parents do that, it makes it hard to play Game Boy.
Don't turn around. You're just screaming that the whole time.
That is a lot.
Yeah.
There was a guy, I won't disclose his name,
No.
but there is a comedian in Austin who had sex with a woman who's like, I think he said like 5-year-old daughter was asleep in the bed at the same time. And I think that's
A
bad.
married woman, too, I thought.
That might be like illegal.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
not it's not kosher.
Yeah, when she and then
Not kosher. The Jews wouldn't do it.
if she's in there, she needs to be holding a camera or doing something that helps the situation.
Yeah, I do feel like when you have kids, you definitely come quicker because you're like, I might as well just come now.
Yeah, because I've noticed if me and my wife go and do anything like by ourselves, like take a couple nights to go to a hotel, it's just fucking. We don't do anything else because we're just like, oh wow, we can actually just fuck whenever we want.
Yeah, or if you get like my kid, we get her to sleep on the couch or something, and then you're like, oh my god, we're having bed sex. This is like such a
Bed sex
privilege.
is very rare in my household. I can get it with Chris, but
It almost feels like you're like, holy shit, I forget how to do this.
I
Like,
forgot you can be comfortable while also having sex.
Yeah.
The fat guy's dream.
yeah, and because I'm fat, so I'm having sex on things that are easier to break.
She likes the like spooning position where we're both on our sides and you're like doggy styling. Laying down. It's my least favorite position, I'll say personally.
Yeah, that was a big thing when I used to live with my mom, that I would do that.
Oh,
just
with
to-
your mom?
With your mom?
Yeah, because just a quiet sex.
Get her to
Or
calm
at
down.
her parents' house or something.
It is, yeah, it is a very quiet sex. I feel like for her though, it's just like a way she can play on her phone and tune it out. It's like I'm not even there.
Yeah, you're just when you have sex like that, you're shushing a lot. You're
Yeah.
like, shh.
I'm gonna come some more. Shh. Yeah, I do scream. I scream at the top of my lungs every time I come. It's
Yeah, How quickly do you go back to the phone after coming when you're with your wife? Like, that's
when she goes to like piss my cum out, I'm already
I'm on it.
You're already
I'm
just
playing
your game.
playing Hearthstone. Just get a little trading card game in.
I think that's the most embarrassing thing a woman does is after you come on her, she goes and pisses it out.
Yeah, it's not an honorable thing for women at all, sex.
No.
It's disgusting for them. Either they have to just spit cum out of their pussies or just lay there while you go get a washcloth and just fucking clean them up like an old car. Just
You have a dirty rag in your back pocket, you're fucking wiping your car off.
I used to have a bit about that where it was like, it's so easy to impress a woman. You can just come on her, and then when you wipe it off, she's like, "What a gentleman."
Yeah, you actually let the cum not be on my body for a long time. Yeah, cum is wild. And I hate cum more than anything right after I cum. It's the worst.
You hate it?
I just don't like it at all.
After
Especially
you
my own
masturbate,
cum.
it's all over you. You're just all grossed out.
I could never imagine being gay. I mean, I've imagined it a couple of times just to see if it makes me hard, and it hasn't yet.
If you jerk off lying down, do you come on yourself? Do you come to the left?
I come in my belly
come
button.
to the right.
I come right in my belly button. I just go to sleep. I let it congeal.
When I was like in high school, I feel like my cum, it was like so powerful that I'd have to put the hand. You ever do that? You put the hand up
Just stop it from going up to the roof.
so you don't come on your own face.
One time I did kind of have to do that because I was on painkillers for like 2 years, and you can't really cum or shit. So I told the story before on here was that I was shitting, and then I just barely touched my dick, and I hadn't cum in like probably like over a year, and it was just like one of those wacky sprinklers that just like spits around.
Sometimes those are the best.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, I was having a good time. I was laughing the entire time, just shitting and coming everywhere. It's laughing like a maniac.
Your body felt so relieved, I bet.
Yeah, no, I was excited. I was lighter for sure after
number 3.
Is that when you stopped doing it forever, or you just stopped?
Yeah, I had quit and I was withdrawing. I was like on probably like day 4 of withdrawals of just like rolling around in bed and kicking the wall and telling my sister to go fucking kill herself.
All that shit, you probably felt like you were gonna die.
Yeah, I mean, you can probably die from painkiller withdrawals, I would assume.
I don't think so.
Maybe.
I think it's like alcohol and heroin are like the only ones you
I'm
can really
sure-
die
What kind
from.
of painkillers?
Well, it was anything I could get my hands on, but I had
It wasn't prescribed. Though.
It was prescribed to somebody, just not to me. I have unlimited access to tramadols, which is basically like, I know everyone like always laughs at that because it's like what they give dogs and stuff. But if you take like 6 or 7 of them, it's the same as taking like Percocets or.
You ever have a painkiller problem, Ben?
No.
No drug problems at all.
No, I mean I had some oxy when I had like a wisdom tooth removed, and I only took like 2 because it's like this sucks.
Not your favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. It rules. You got to pair it with. You got to watch Hancock or something.
You gotta watch a good movie.
Pretty much any Will Smith film. I, Robot would probably be the best one.
I
That's
fucked
really
up and watched 7 Pounds.
7 Pounds is a good painkiller movie.
No, it's not. It's so depressing.
I don't know. Downers has always been something I'm into, but I'm also into uppers and any other drug.
Every drug.
Yeah, I think they're all pretty chill.
What makes you come the hardest?
Coke, probably.
Yeah.
Because you can't come. It's hard to come, and then it takes you a long time, and then by the time you do, it shoots out. It's like a fire hydrant.
Acid makes me come really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. You ever come
Molly-
on acid?
No.
It feels so goofy. Like you come and your whole body just tingles.
I'd be scared. I had sex on shrooms, and I had sex on acid actually too, and it was pretty nice. I had sex on mushrooms. I did not like it.
No?
You think so much about what you're doing. You're like, I'm inside a person. Like, this is really weird. And then you hear bongo drums for some reason. It's like the sound that Jumanji makes when it's trying to draw you to the board. And I'm not about to play Jumanji again. That's fucking wild.
Fucking bats everywhere.
Bats would be not a good thing to have around when you're having sex, I feel like. I see that everyone we meet from Canada, they're never that big into drugs. Seems like...
Is it hard to get drugs?
They're
up
probably
there?
afraid to talk about it here because they all want to...
move here.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Because it's like it's illegal to have ever smoked weed once.
Really?
If if you were if you're just a regular
Oh, you mean
person,
when you're trying to go some...
well, if you're just a regular person crossing the U.S. border and they go, "Have you ever smoked weed?" and you go, "Yeah," and they go, "Okay, well, you can never come here."
That's
Jesus
crazy.
Christ.
That might change with the recent thing that they're doing where they're trying to make it not a Schedule A drug. But basically, it's like if you've done any drug or like admit to it, or it's like on your social media, or it's whatever, then it can fuck you.
Crazy.
So
Uncle Hack admitted to doing cocaine all the time on this podcast.
Yeah, but then he also like talks shit about it. So maybe he's trying to win Canada.
Yeah.
We're like, yeah, cocaine is not that.
This guy's
cool.
all right.
So it's like weed is super illegal in Canada.
no, it's legal.
Oh, it's legal. Oh, okay.
It's here that it's crossing here.
because of even if you
Yeah.
go into Washington, where it's also like super legal.
I mean, I don't think it's a big deal these days, but it's just like a thing that kind of, especially for comics, gets all these horror stories get drilled into our heads about, you know, performing in the States without a visa, and then they get caught, and then you're banned for 5 years and stuff like that.
I mean, that has been every single Canadian comic down here is always super scared about getting fucked and not being able to come back.
Yeah. Well, it's I was saying this to somebody that like Americans don't really give a fuck that much about getting arrested because it's like, what's gonna happen? I can't go to Canada. You know,
Yeah.
it's like they don't give a shit. They don't give a
You're
shit.
like, yeah, but for us, we can't leave Canada.
It's-
That's the last thing you want.
Well, the
if
funny
you're-
part is we could go to pretty much anywhere except here. You know, like you could still go to the UK. You could still go here.
Is it hard to illegally cross the border
Here?
from Canada to here?
Because
it's not that
yeah,
hard.
you gotta
Mexico.
Yeah, I mean, there are like groups of migrants that fucking walk through the forest and shit.
Yeah.
Usually we get like 10 that die every year trying to cross in the middle of the winter
Damn, that's not that
into
bad.
the States.
I feel like the Mexican border, it's probably got to be like quadruple digits.
Yeah, well, it's not as much of an escape. Like
And
people
you guys are white people, so you're probably
More white people up there, yeah.
well, they're white.
well, it's definitely not white people crossing
really?
illegally. It's usually like fucking Somalians and Indians.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Shit
because
like
that's
that.
You guys
that's
have
what
a big
the
Indian population up there, right?
Yeah, we have a bit of a Indian. Some would
Problem.
call it a problem.
someone called a smelly fucking problem.
Some would call it a solution to.
No wonder you Canadian guys
delivery.
are trying to get down here so fast.
That makes sense. Oh god, that would be the worst. Your country gets taken over by Indian people.
That's literally what it is. Like when I'm in Canada, it's kind of good because for comedy because you can just do like 20 minutes on Indians and
Yeah.
It crushes.
yeah, like I did some joke where somebody was like, you know, this is his hometown, whatever, and then I went on. I'm like, happy to be back in my hometown of Mumbai, you know, and people are just like clapping. 'Cause it's just so, it's like a serious thing. Like we don't, or in Austin, there's not that many Uber drivers that ride bicycles, for instance. Right?
Yeah.
They all drive cars, whereas in Toronto, it's like all bicycles. And
What, you just hop on the pegs?
they have,
Just
yeah.
grab 'em by the way. So where are we going?
The Uber Eats. Uber Eats.
Oh, Uber Eats.
We
Yeah.
have a lot
the
of that.
actual Uber driver. No.
That'd be, he just comes up on a BMX bike.
Little tuck or whatever.
You can get on the handlebars.
Yeah.
I don't want to be on the handlebars. It's gonna be
No,
hard
all
for
the
you to-
food deliveries done basically by bicycles, and
That happens
so-
a lot here. We
Yeah.
get in Austin. Actually, there's a lot of on foot
Yeah,
because at Mothership, obviously, like all the like door guys and security guys are always Uber eating food, and it's always just some dude on foot will run up and grab it.
just from local, right?
Yeah. Well, it's because there's all these people working, and then also all these restaurants right around.
Mhm.
So that's basically what you're doing. You're just running into businesses and stuff all day.
I've had a couple on foot. I never really liked the on foot because it's like you just picture the guy holding it with his hands the whole time.
He just has it loose.
Yeah.
He just has an
Like this?
unwrapped cheeseburger.
here is your like, you know.
I took a bite.
You want it in that bag, you know. You want it
Yeah.
in that big,
That big
Uber,
red, like,
yeah.
fuck it, yeah.
They have it
DoorDash
wrapped
bag.
up in their weird head wrap thing.
Fuck,
I
dude.
kept
They
it
got-
warm.
They unravel
No, it was in your
A lot of
head
the
wrap.
guys who deliver with turbans on, they like instead of wearing a mask, they just have like another turban over their face.
Mm.
So it's just like
Do they
yeah,
still wear masks up in Canada?
a lot of people do. Yeah,
Damn.
yeah.
I wonder if it would be illegal if like a Indian or Muslim guy delivered you food and you killed him for being that race. I wonder if they would
I
consider
think that just happened in Austin.
Oh,
Well,
something like
probably.
that happened.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the black
I
lady?
think he was black. He was a black dude that got like they just found him dead in his car in like Riverside, East Riverside,
Oh, badass.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we're doing our part.
doing Uber Eats.
That's
That's the worst to die doing Uber Eats, man.
yeah. You're not
Right.
even Ubering.
Yeah.
like they make Uber makes way more money than Uber. I
But
did
also
Uber
it's
Eats
like,
for a little
what-
while. There's
who's-
no money in it.
Are you getting killed for the food that but like you already paid for it?
It was
you know
supposed
what
to
I
be chili cheese fries, and there was only cheese.
mean? Yeah.
You want chili and cheese. That's
Well, to
that
be fair, they
complements
forgot
cheese.
the fries and chili. They just brought you cheese.
Yeah, well, if a guy brings you cheese, you should be able to kill that fuck.
Yeah.
I feel a lot worse about ordering Uber Eats here, where like a white or a black person brings it, than like in Toronto, where it's like we have a slave class of Indians and Muslims, and it's just like that's
yeah.
what they
That's what
do.
it's gonna be. Yeah, you got to tip them in like one of those baskets that has a snake in it that you can play the flute. You gotta
Steak
give
comes
them
out with the $5.
Well, in Toronto, a lot of Jews had to change their name on Uber Eats after October 7th.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Oh shit!
Mohammed bringing Benjamin his latkes and matzo ball soup is not exactly. You don't really want that.
He just pisses free Palestine into the meat. Wow, I mean it's cursive though. You gotta admit that's impressive.
There was one guy he waited in my lobby, and I came down, and he was it looked like, I swear he was just watching like a terrorist video, like a beheading video on his phone. Waiting for me to come down.
Well, people do stuff like that.
Yeah.
I've seen my fair share.
Yeah. No, the joke was that I came down and he was watching a beheading video, and I was like, oh, I've seen that one.
That's a good one. Can I shoot you a link? Actually, if you like that. Do they have that in death video sites? If you like guy getting his face ripped off by dogs, you might like it.
Because of the diversity in Toronto, like any international shit that happens just feels like so. It's like it just blows up in Toronto
Interesting.
because everybody's fucking whatever, not white.
Yeah. We're not getting there here, but it's definitely that like our media is trying to make it look like we're there.
Well, I see the protests here, and it's a lot more white people than like Toronto.
Oh, the free
for
pals.
instance.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course.
Or anything. I mean, in Canada, remember when Trump blew up that Iranian dude?
Yeah.
Soleimani.
That was pretty rad.
Yeah, it was kind of bad.
Cool shit.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's sick.
He kind of got his ass.
But in Canada, it was like a full-on protest against the U.S. embassy, and those are the same people who are like
Jesus.
protesting. Yeah, there's
yeah, most of our protesters
They're protesting
are,
what America did. Is that
Yeah.
what you said?
Like
Why?
well, there's a shit ton of like IRGC terrorists in Canada,
Okay.
because Canada's kind of a place where you can really,
be a terrorist.
yeah.
It's got to be a good place for terrorists because
I'm
also
pretty sure
they're-
that's where the 9/11 guys came through Canada.
Oh yeah, you
too.
guys had the 9/11 guys. That's
Yeah.
badass.
Wow.
They're-
Thanks. That was rad.
Do you think
Yeah.
if those guys lived, they could have toured?
Yeah, they oughta. Yeah.
Definitely wrote a book.
Yeah, but just like the
They'd
blue
be
collar,
like, it was the Jews.
the blue collar comedy tour, the 9/11 comedy tour.
They just show like the direct deposit from like
Bush.
If you like,
Goldman Sachs.
if you like destroying buildings, you might be Osama. Am I right?
Well, we
Get her
did
done.
have another guy. I forget what his name is. His name's escaping me, but there was Omar. Oh yeah, Omar Khadr. So he was a Canadian that was a Canadian citizen that was in Iraq or Afghanistan, I forget, and basically blew up some Americans, or was part of people who blew up some like U.S. troops. And then he got arrested, sent to Guantanamo, but he was Canadian, so then he got released back to Canada, and our government gave him $10 million as a
Nice.
we're sorry this
Good
happened.
job.
Fuck.
Yeah, but he's not allowed to leave the country. But he's like,
He is
who gives
$10
a
million,
shit? You know what I
yeah.
mean? And he wrote it. I'm pretty sure he wrote a book, and you know, we just don't have the same level of pride for our country on the whole that Americans do. Where Americans are like,
It's fading here, though. It's not as heavy as it used to be.
they
'cause
want to make it more like Canada here. I get that sense.
It's well, especially for youth, it's cooler to like be like fuck this country. But then it's like you guys also got to remember like it's better than most places. Because I know when you say that, people are like, whatever, you just haven't been around the world. And I'm like, yeah, but you gotta understand the vast majority of the world is like the Middle East, Africa, India, China. Like those places are vastly awful. So it's
But
like,
even
would you
like-
rather be there?
in England. People aren't really afraid of the cops and stuff too, because it's like
Yeah.
I don't even think their cops have guns.
Well, we're not afraid of the cops.
Yeah.
No.
We're white guys.
White.
Yeah.
Cops like us.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Cops, on a whole, here aren't the worst. Like we have a shit ton of bad.
But like
ones.
in England, you could walk down the street with like a machete or like a
Yeah.
samurai sword, and
That's
they're
why they
like,
use
"Hey,
them.
hello, just put that." Whereas here, they just fucking shoot them like
So
100
many
times.
Well,
fucking
no, but
stabbings up in England.
if
and
you have a
shit.
samurai sword, you better be able to cut the bullets. If you're gonna carry
Yeah.
one, you might as well know how to do shit like that.
Yeah.
And our cops know that there's people like that out there. I don't think it's. If you had a samurai sword, I don't think they really give a fuck unless you like ran at them.
Well, if you're holding it out.
Oh, yeah.
If you're just walking
I've seen
around
a
like.
whole-
So that
Homeless
just
guy with a
happened in
katana,
England. Some
yeah.
guy who just had a katana and killed a 14-year-old in England, and then they were like,
Damn.
they arrested him. They didn't
Nice.
like shoot him dead.
Yeah.
Whereas
Oh,
here,
yeah,
that would have been.
Our cops are definitely told and they're not even like, we'll shoot them and put them down. It's like if they're coming at you, blast them until there's nothing left.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It is like they just unload their fucking. There's got to be another way, maybe like we do, like we each shoot once, and then if they keep coming, then we keep shooting.
Well, I think originally they probably were like, just shoot him in the leg, but then you miss, and then you then you die.
Well, it is.
Yeah.
It is hard to shoot a person in the leg.
Yeah.
I also think you're supposed to, if you're gonna shoot, you have to kill them because I think they can sue you if you just shoot them.
Right.
That's true. You don't want to
and
get
harm 'em.
sued.
Yeah.
You might as well blast their
Yeah.
face
You
off.
gotta eliminate them from the earth.
When I was younger, I would always think like, why wouldn't they just shoot him in the leg? Why wouldn't they just immobile? And then now as an older person, I'm like, yeah, just fucking.
Yeah, that
Well,
guy could be on meth also, and that bullet in the leg won't
I-
stop him.
Well, sometimes they shoot him like 40 times, and he's still like reaching. for the
Yeah,
fucking-
fuck you, cop.
It's
My
crazy.
favorite is when they blast him away, like with fucking
Yeah.
shotguns, and they're like, "Hands behind your back."
Yeah.
Put your hands behind. There was one guy that set himself on fire. And the American cops approach his scorched body with guns drawn. They're like, "On your stomach!" And he's
Yeah.
I don't think he's a big threat, guys. He's not fire starter.
There's a guy online that has a YouTube channel where he just it's like him playing Grand Theft Auto as a cop, but
it's like a role playing stuff. I've seen those,
and
yeah.
he's like, we gotta, whatever, and then he pulls him over, and then he's like, don't move, no, and then he shoots him like 100 times. He's like, put your hands behind your back. The same, it's fucking hilarious. Like there is a comedy aspect to that when you just
Yeah.
kill someone and then go,
Do
don't
Canadian
move, don't
cops
move.
carry
Well, and they
guns?
still cuff
Yeah.
them too.
Yeah.
Canadian cops carry guns. They don't really, like, there was a few instances where they fucking like they killed this one teenager a long time ago, like 10 years ago. Sammy Yatim.
Oh,
I had a joke
He
where it
was
was
a
like Sammy Yatim,
Japanese
beam, beam, beam. But
Sammy, a team.
he was, yeah, he was like a Muslim guy, and he had a knife, and like they just shot him too much, and then he died.
Well, you never know what he could have done with that knife. He could have rigged it up, to
Right,
take
coulda-
down some
They
Yeah.
shot him, killed him, gave his family $10 million.
pretty much. Like I'm pretty sure they're still suing and stuff like that. Or no, there was a cop that went to jail, I think, for 5 years
Damn.
for that. So the
5
cops,
years is a lot for a cop.
yeah.
They don't really go to jail here.
We had a terrorist attack maybe in 2017 or 18. It was like a guy drove down the street, like on the sidewalk,
Okay.
classic, just truck driving over people,
nice.
and they
We had
arrested him. They didn't shoot him, and like they could have. And the guy had a he was going like this with his cell phone. And like, if that was a state, if
I'm
if you're
recording
in
you.
fucking Austin and you go like this to a cop with your phone, you're getting shot.
You would
Yeah.
get shot for sure.
But they were just like, yeah, that's not a gun. They just took him out.
I don't know. Yeah, part of me is I agree that cops are really bad, but also a lot of people they kill kind of fucking suck a little bit. So
Yeah.
it's whatever. We have
I'm
too.
not
The problem is we
super-
have too many people here. So
Yeah.
if our cops got to fucking put the numbers down a little bit, if you're waving anything at a cop, I think especially in America, at that point it's pretty much suicide by cop.
Like,
Like
there was
they're
a-
gonna blast your ass.
There's a black guy I was talking to recently, and he got pulled over, and he's like, I learned this trick that you put all the windows down when you get. I'm like, yeah, that everybody knows that. a lot of people are like, what? I can't open my tinted all the way black windows this much and not
Life hack.
I
Be
learned this-
calm and collect.
Yeah, I
when
learned
they
this
pull
trick
you
that when
put
you
your
get-
hands here.
When
instead
you
of-
get pulled over by a cop, you don't go, "Hey, crack ass motherfucker, I'll kill you and your wife." Yeah, if you don't do that, sometimes you just get a ticket.
yeah,
Really?
yeah. I think a lot of the people who get shot, it's like almost like they're just so confrontational at that. At
Well,
the critical
and-
moment.
The culture of, and it is the cops' fault in some way, but the whole culture of American police are pieces of shit. They're all evil. Has also created this counterculture of as soon as you get pulled over, you're like, what the fuck did I do? You fucking fat retard idiot. I'm filming you. Your nipples are probably too big for your body.
I love watching those videos of them just filming the cops. Though.
I mean, I do think that
those are like on YouTube. Or
I'm
whatever.
a journalist. I
what
can
do they
film
call
here.
sovereign citizens?
It's usually like the white guy though, and it's like nothing was gonna happen anyway. But he's like, he opens the window like this much. He's like, that's legally all I have to do, and puts the.
Have you heard that term, the sovereign citizen thing? That's basically.
Am I being detained?
Well, sovereign citizen is like, I don't know where they got the concept. I'm sure maybe there's something written somewhere, but as a sovereign citizen, you're like choosing to live outside of the laws of the country you're in. So if you tell that to a cop, they're supposed to be like, oh, okay, I guess we got to let you go then. It doesn't ever go that way. It goes with their face in the concrete and a knee in their back.
Yeah, it is sad when,
Well, you're white too, so it's like if the cop kills you, you're barely gonna make the news.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Is when they kill a white guy, you feel bad.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I said that one time. That was like one of the first times I almost got like full on canceled, which isn't gonna get me canceled. It was here, but it was on a podcast. I was talking about death videos. And the first thing I said about the death video, I was like, yeah, they're speaking English, so that makes it so much more sad. Like, you just care way more when they're not like, yeah. But I stand by that. That is true. I was going to say
that there was that one recently where they pulled this kid over and they're like, just the regular stuff, can you put all the windows down? Because there's like people in the back seat too. He's like, put the back window, wouldn't do it. Then he starts trying to drive away. And then they just like shot him or whatever. And then his mom was like, that killed my baby. It was like the Chappelle. Everybody's like, this is like a Chappelle show.
This was a Japanese family.
No, it was black.
He got Yoshi. They motherfucking kill Yoshi.
Dead. Get the samurai sword.
The Suzaka family.
Like, yeah, it's never a black guy in like a Volvo with no tint, right? It's like it's always like a 2006 with. It already has bullet holes in it
from the other cops. Well, you just killed a cop, sir.
But they also like when people, these criminal guys that end up dying and stuff, and they never think about like, hey, this cop has a like this cop wants to go home. They're just like, they don't give a fuck. Yeah.
I mean, you do have to look at it from the cop's perspective as well. Like every time you walk up to a car, and that's the same culture of America. Like maybe you think cops are overkilling people. Well, a lot of people in America also have guns and are quick to fucking pull them out as well.
The cops are scared.
So the cops are going to also know that
if you make the cop feel comfortable and you're like, look, nothing in the car, or I do have a weapon. But whatever you say.
And there are plenty of cops that would still be cunts just because most people are cunts.
Yeah.
That's just the world. So most cops are also going to be cunts. But yeah, even a cunty person, you approach them in a respectful manner. It's going to go better than if you're just like, I bet your wife's pussy got big labia. I could probably chew on that shit. Like it's chow mein.
Well, I think people in America forget that they all live in the same country sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and this kind of happened at a show I was doing. I had a fan drive from Houston, and he was, he had like grills and fucking, he had like the Travis Scott hair.
Another Japanese guy.
He's
a big Japanese.
Full Japanese.
Yeah.
Wow, doesn't seem like your demographic.
People would be surprised, man. I have quite a diverse.
People be surprised about these motherfuckers who be following me.
Yeah. And the guy who owned the venue was like super white, and this guy like had a huge blunt, was smoking it, and then he was leaving while smoking it. And the owner of the venue was like, "Do you think I could hit that before you get out of here?" And then it was just this like beautiful moment where this guy, like this half black guy, is handing this massive joint to like this whitest guy ever, who's like his whole like he talks about drinking raw milk on podcasts all the time, and he just watching him go. And I had this moment as a Canadian where I was like, these guys are the same. They're from the same country.
We're all chilling. We're all here.
And I think that should be talked about more. I mean, if the politicians did their job properly, I think with unifying people, being like, guys, we're in the same country. Like nobody's saying that. And I think if more people were talking about how, we're all the same. We're both American.
For sure. And I think a lot of people in America you meet who are more chiller about those kind of things are the people who grew up in areas where they were
white.
a lot of
White
different
areas.
types. No, where it's not white, like white
True.
people who are, because I went to an all Hispanic high school and an all black high school. That was most of my schooling, so it was only around black people, only around like Mexicans.
Adam can't read.
And yeah, I mean, I could read better than them. Second grade level. That was
Well, my high school was
Whoa,
not.
you reading Clifford?
That's how big.
My high school was like 90% Chinese. So but
Really?
they were like all Chinese immigrants.
Hell
This was-
yeah.
Wow,
dude. How was that?
you guys just made iPhones all day?
Yeah. Well,
Stuff
they
like
didn't
that.
talk to it. Like we didn't. It was kind of like my school was way smaller than it was because we
Uh-huh.
only hung out with like people who weren't like Chinese.
That makes.
I mean,
sense.
we had Chinese friends, but those were like Chinese people from Canada.
Were they mean to you? Like, were they racist?
I didn't know what they were saying.
Fair enough.
They probably were.
They were like, they all took ESL. Like it was a big like now we have Indians, but then we had Chinese. right?
Okay.
Or, like,
I'd say
10 years
Chinese
ago.
are probably better, right?
Yeah, they don't
smell better?
They don't cross the street illegally as much.
Yeah, we got that hard.
We had that.
Black,
Yeah.
and I'll say this about black people: if this is your strategy, I kind of appreciate it a little bit. But I feel like every time they cross the street, they're like, "I'm gonna inconvenience you." Like,
Yeah.
I want you to have
Not
a
as
massive-
bad as Indians though, because
Really?
Indians
Just
cross
stand
they
there?
cross train tracks. You know what I mean? They're fucking,
Oh, I've seen the death videos of that. Yeah, there are a lot of those guys.
and they always look confused at the last moment when the train's. What? Why are you hitting me?
I am trying to walk. Why are you not letting me walk?
I am walking here.
It's a train. I'm walking here.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't.
I do not speak train.
No, there's I don't know. I was watching a video today about some area in Dallas, like from the 90s, and it's like now those houses are probably all worth like 4 million or
Oh
something.
yeah,
Jesus.
But
yeah.
then they were going for like 250K, which was like a shit ton of money in the 90s too. And like they were like, there's virtually no crime here. It's like all white people. And they're
Dallas
just-
is different now.
Yeah. And then one guy was like, this is the city of the future. It was like hilarious. You know, a lot of people say like something will happen in Austin, and then I'll see people online being like, this is liberalism and liberal cities are more dangerous. And it's like, but Houston's not a liberal city and it's fucking
No.
dangerous as shit.
And Austin also, because I've been around Austin like since I was a teenager. Austin is nothing like what it used to be. It's not a liberal city at all anymore. Because it used to be very much like Portland and Seattle.
right.
Like keep Austin weird. It's like a bunch of like hippie shit and like music venues.
But now it's
and
like
just
tech
festivals.
bros who are right
Yeah,
leaning
now it's like
and vote
tech
Trump.
bros. It's a lot of comedians, obviously, a lot of comedy tourists. That's a big part of it as well. Way more homeless. The homeless has gotten like insanely bad. I don't know where they stand politically.
That's everywhere.
We could maybe get out
Are
there.
they allowed to vote?
Huh?
Almost?
I hope not.
I don't know. A lot of them are probably felons and
Wow,
stuff.
and 70.
Are you not allowed to vote if you're
Not here.
convicted felon?
No, yeah.
In Texas
well,
or
you
no?
also have to
No,
have
like
like
country.
you have to
Oh.
have an ID and stuff too. And
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of them
Right.
don't have unexpired IDs.
So what's that whole thing? They want like the liberals want voter ID or they don't want it?
They don't want it because
Right.
liberals really like to get homeless people to vote for them.
And like
That's what I've
illegal immigrants.
done. Yeah.
So- vote,
Seniors.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
that fun video
Dead
where
people, apparently.
Yeah.
they were talking to people on a college campus, these white kids. There's a video a guy made, and he's like, yeah, do you think ID laws are racist? They're like, yeah, because a lot of black people don't have access to IDs and like, or the internet voting too, because they don't have access to like the internet. And then he goes to the hood and he's like, do you have an ID? And do you know what the internet is? They're like, what, motherfucker? Yeah, what?
Yeah.
You better
Like-
get stepping,
He's
motherfucker.
like, would you think it's racist if people think you're too black to have an ID? And they're like, yeah.
Well, it does feel like the whole there's all kinds of gaslighting going on right now with
Oh, it's
politics.
insane.
And the whole yeah, exactly what you just said, where it's, you know, the liberals are the racist people who just think that everybody else is below them and it's their duty to help them.
Yeah, 100%. It's
Whereas
like,
conservatives, I think, are like, we want everybody to be rich. We don't, there's no group, like conservatives are never like, we want everybody to be rich except for this group or except, no, we want everybody to be richer. We want people to be less crimey,
Yeah.
less criminally,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and generally the more money everybody has and the better everybody's doing, you know, people complain about healthcare and about that. Well, those problems kind of go away a bit when people are doing better and aren't
that's the idea.
driving
but
shitty cars and
It
cars that are
also,
Yeah.
Ultimas with the fucking bumpers falling off.
it
and
swings
shit.
both ways because, you know, there was a time where the liberals were more the people that were like
Yeah.
trying to explore like social freedoms and stuff. And then the conservatives were really fucking putting their foot down on that. And then I get where because conservatives are coming from the minds of like the working class. Like you work hard, you have a good life, everything goes well. But the thing is, that's not really the case anymore. Like, especially now with like AI and shit coming out, that's going to not exist. There's not going to be a work hard and like provide for your family thing. It's going to be more like you have to invent some kind of app that makes it so that like you can like come and then turn it into ice cream. And if you don't do that, you're going to be poor
Holy
as hell.
shit, Adam, that's a good idea.
We can figure it out.
You come to the machine and it's fucking mint ice cream.
I mean, you can't pick the flavor. That's the problem.
Oh, that
It's a
sucks.
different flavor every time.
I feel like when Trump was president, though, like you'd go to like a McDonald's and they just were smiling a bit more, you know.
It was
people who
better.
worked there because shit was cheaper.
People don't want to. People don't want to talk about how it was kind of better.
yeah.
It was 100% better.
Yeah, because Biden. Well, no matter what anyone says,
It
about
was
Trump,
cheaper.
and I'm well,
And
yeah,
cheaper equals like less stress overall in
Mhm.
society.
Well, even you look
and
at like him blowing up that Iranian
Soleimani,
guy,
yeah.
kind of badass. Like, don't you kind of want that guy though? Don't you kind of want the country to think like, man, if we even kind of remotely fuck with them, like that one thing he did where there was some kind of like they were threatening him like over the phone talking about something, and he sent him a satellite picture of his house. And I was like, maybe back the fuck up. Like I was like, oh,
well, they're trying to do
shit.
the same thing in Canada now, where the way I see it,
Justin Trudeau's
is-
just jacked and has 2 machetes.
yeah,
Blackface still.
no, it's the
That was
whole,
cool.
It's the idea that they villainize and delegitimize the opposition party,
Mhm.
and then everybody wants to pretend, or the media and the people who are on Biden's side and stuff want to pretend like, well, yeah, why should somebody who says, the things Trump says or does the things Trump says or stands for the things Trump stands for be allowed? Or, you should be, you're a bad person if you vote for him.
Yeah.
And the same thing's happening in Canada now with our opposition leaders, Pierre Poilievre. And to me, it's basically them trying to create a dictatorship without saying it out loud. So it's like, if you vote for the other guy, you're evil, straight up.
There's only
It's a
one-
one party.
The
It's an
problem is
attempt at a one party
We made it
system.
too much like a sport.
Yeah.
Like my side's gonna win over your side, but they should just get together and just fucking work it out.
But you're right,
Yeah.
100%, because it's like,
But they didn't do that with Bush. It wasn't like, it was like,
well, they
yeah,
made him out to be a joke.
after.
Yeah, I was a little too young for that
And then,
stuff.
but I
Yeah.
think they realized joke doesn't matter, and then they realized
But generally, it was.
super hardcore racist, violent person is
Right.
an easier mark.
But there was this idea that both sides had their ideas about how to make the country
Yeah.
better.
Yeah,
And now it's like, we want to, like, the liberals are basically out in the open, be like, we don't want to make it better. We just want to make it fairer.
yeah,
And which is going to hurt a lot of people. And it's basically the whole, like, build back better, Green New Deal, all that stuff is part of it. And then, well, the other side's like, no, we want to make it better. We want to make it cheaper.
Yeah.
We want to
For
make
sure.
gas cheaper. We want to make this. And they're like, no, but that's evil because you're going to hurt people by making
well,
it's,
and
it's just
not,
a lie.
It's not
Yeah.
just this is what we're gonna do. It's more like if they get elected, they're gonna rape every Mexican
Exactly.
person and throw them in a fire. Well, what are you guys gonna do? Well, don't worry about that. You didn't just hear what I said. They're gonna do. Like,
I
don't
mean,
you
the
not
obvious-
want that to happen?
And the obvious hypocrisy that everybody talks about is that, one side's going, if those guys get in, it'll be a dictatorship. So what we're going to do is basically make it impossible
for them to
for
get
them
in.
to win.
Yeah.
But that's us protecting democracy.
Well-
That's the gaslighting mindfuck of
you
you're being authoritarian, saying the other guy's going to be authoritarian. So which is just what Putin does, the same thing. He has there's an opposition party, and
yeah.
I mean they'll arrest him
But
once
they
in a while
don't.
if he ever gets too many votes and stuff. Right?
disregard that. Yeah.
Wake up with a
But that's
knife
what
in
they're
his
trying to do
throat.
here. They're trying to get Trump to go to jail, and that's the end goal of the left.
It's funny because you look at Trump and it's like one thing is very clear about him. He just fucking says what he wants to say because everyone painted him to be like a homophobic, racist person. But I've been a real big, like, not Trump guy. I've known about him for a long time, and I've always been into like seeing like older interviews with him and stuff. And I mean, there's one really funny thing of him on The Apprentice. that show, that reality show he did, and he's like, John, you're a gay man, right? And he's like, yes sir, I'm gay. So he's like, so you don't think that these two girls are hot right now? And he's like, I think they're very beautiful women, it's just not my thing. He's like, well, that's why they have different menus. He's like, you want a different menu? I like steak, he likes fish. We're all having a good time eating at the same table. It's just like, he just said that.
That's actually
he just decided
that's
to say,
actually a beautiful statement.
well, and also you got to think about the fact, not only was he one of the first Republican candidates to openly say that he didn't give a shit about gay marriage, I don't even think Barack Obama did that. I feel like Barack Obama may have came out and said that he didn't think that
he was like against it.
He was against it at one point for sure. Well, I mean, but also black people are very homophobic.
Well, it's
that's not
weird
his fault. It's in his extra bone.
I mean, that's part of it too, where it's like, if you're not so on board with gays that you have gay flags hanging off your fucking, everything, and you're like willing to use the crazy terminology and the LGBTQ2IS plus this, and if you're just like, hey, I don't care what you do whatever you want, that's like, you're still homophobic, I think. Yeah,
you're still kind of a piece of shit.
If you don't go bend over backwards,
and
that's why I think it's just bullshit to give a fuck at all at a certain point. And eventually I think politicians in the West will win by going, fuck that shit.
And they are. Well, it already is.
Yeah, it already is.
But this is the tolerance.
But they fight it real hard.
Tolerance is the best term for it. Because it's like, you don't have to love it and you don't have to embrace it. And you don't even have to be an ally to it. Just tolerate it. Don't fuck with it.
Well, that's the old school way of looking at it.
That's what it was for a long time.
Tolerance used to be like what equity is now.
Yeah.
Because we went from tolerance to equality. That wasn't good enough.
Now it's like, suck a dick or I'm going to shoot your kid in the head. Yeah. It's like, but I don't want to suck a dick. Why? Because you hate gay people? Well, I still think it would taste that good.
Equity is a fucking I just think that's a stupid term that is used a lot now. And it's all about, because it used to be equality. We're all equal. But then it's like, actually, we're not equal. And we need equity, which makes
so it forced equality.
Yeah.
Because it's like, equal opportunity is what it originally was. Now it's like, no, we need more opportunity because you guys have had it so good. So there needs to be way more opportunities for us. And that's why we have female comedians. And that, if anything, should tell you that the system is flawed. Because if Annie Letterman is famous, then things are going bad for comedy.
You're not an Annie Letterman fan?
Well, the problem is with Annie Letterman is I've seen her do comedy. Once you watch that, it's really hard to be a fan of her.
I mean, there's definitely men who are probably worse than her, though.
Yeah, but none of those men are famous. Name 12. Go.
12, I don't know about that.
Name 3.
Yeah, maybe. Like, I've never seen her do stand-up, but
well,
I do
there you
think
go. That's why you're a big fan.
Women, that's why a lot of the female comics now, their fan base are just like dudes that like the same guys that buy like OnlyFans.
Well, it's also a lot of them have anti-fan base. Like there's one, Natalie Cuomo, who I've met. Very nice lady. Natalie, I have nothing against you. You're bad at comedy. That's just true. And most of the comments on her Instagram are just people telling her she's terrible. But at the same time, those comments turn into 6 million views per clip. So
Natalie
it's like
Cuomo? I forgot.
She dated Louis J. Gomez for a little while.
Oh, okay.
And that's when I met her. She came.
I think there's room for female comedy, and I do think there's
there's
more
some
and
amazing
more.
Jessica Kirson, Adrian Iapolucci.
Oh, Adrian Iapolucci might be one of the best, like, dark.
There's a female comic I follow
now.
too that is funny, that does the podcast with Ian Fidance.
Oh, Jordan Jensen.
She's great.
Jordan Jensen is a fucking.
And you know
killer.
what? I've watched Annie Letterman shit where I'm like I follow her and I find some of it funny in like you know, I have a wife kind of way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
so
and that's
like,
the thing too. It's like anything I say where you're bad at comedy or not funny, it's just my opinion. That's just what I'm thinking personally. But
I do think that
I'm also watching the other people watching it too, and they seem to agree with me sometimes.
Whenever there's a female comic that goes on stage, though, the women kind of go like, woo, like they're like excited, and it kind of does break up the, you know, just a bunch of dudes saying similar stuff.
Yeah.
And I think the big thing with women is that they talk about their vaginas, and it makes men uncomfortable because, you know, we're just like, we have some like instinctual protective, you know, like when women start talking about being sluts and stuff like that's, I feel uncomfortable the same way that like a gay dude might feel uncomfortable or a woman if I start talking shit.
There's truth in that to a certain extent, and I think that may have been the case for a little while, but we're getting more into the like space now because I book a weekly show here, and if a girl's funny, I'd put him on, and I see
him.
If a girl's on, I put a guy on instead, just to be safe.
Yo, you're hilarious. I'm gonna put this dude named Ben Bankas.
Can you trans up for a second? But yeah, so they'll go out there, and if they do the pussy jokes, if they do the period jokes, there's some pullback you can tell from people who are just like, I don't like this. But if it's really funny, it's almost more like they laugh harder because they're like, whoa, I didn't know that it could be this funny, and I didn't know that women could be this funny. And it's almost like they have like an advantage in that section where it's like now the crowd is laughing even harder because this woman's funny and they didn't expect it to be. So they're capitalizing on the fact. And then, just in my opinion, when I see a female comic go on stage, the vast majority of the time and they're bombing, it is just because they're not funny. And they're talking about their vaginas, but it's not in a funny way.
Well, it's a different kind of route, I think, for female comics. And I've seen a lot of...
they have to have sex with guys.
Yeah.
That's way harder. Because I don't have to have sex with guys. I just do it to cover all my bases.
Well, I notice a lot of the open mic girls, like, they think it's funny to be like, I'm going to bomb tonight. And it's like, stop saying that. Because it's just going to make you bomb.
For sure.
And then when you see me or somebody else goes on and they kill and all you were like, everybody's going to bomb tonight. I'm going to bomb. So, and it's just like, stop saying bomb. Like, you're manifesting that you're going to have a shitty set. And then you're afterwards, you're like, I knew it. And it's like, instead of doing that, you could have fucking wrote a joke or looked at your jokes or... And also, why not make fun of the bigger picture, too? Because I sometimes I'll see a female comic, I'm like, this girl's fucking hilarious. She doesn't need to talk about sexual stuff or, like, dating. Like, I want to hear your opinion on fucking Mexicans or Biden or fucking Jews.
I mean, yeah,
because then nobody's looking at you as
laying into Mexicans, Bidens, and Jews. They would be famous. Oh wait, Candace Owens, she's already out there. Dude, if Candace Owens started headlining, I would beg to be her feature.
Yeah,
I would want to open for her so hard.
Yeah, she is she's feisty. I don't know how fucking hilarious.
But one of my favorite comics in the scene right now in Austin is Candace Medina, and she's fucking incredible. And
sounds like a shawarma shop.
Well, she kind of looks like she only eats at a shawarma shop also because she's fat. She knows I like her. That's fine. But yeah, I mean, I guarantee you she has to deal with fat, like just her being a woman. And then I think now a lot I've noticed is that ugly women don't get taken as seriously because I think a lot of the bookers, a lot of the industry people are like, well, if we have to have a woman, she might as well be hot. So that way, at least we have like an attractive woman up here. And even if she's not funny, people will watch her because she's attractive.
I think one mistake that female comics make, and I guess I know why, because they're worried that people are going to try to fuck them and stuff like that. But they're afraid to network as much. Like I do, like they more let the networking come to them.
For sure.
Whereas like if I'm a dude and I'm new in a scene and I'm like, hey, Ben, blah, blah, blah.
Push your way
they're kind of like, oh no, is he going to fuck me? Is he going to fuck me?
And I agree with that 100%.
They kind of have to get rid of that thought process to get farther. And the ones that don't give a fuck and are just like, hey, what's going on? I'm doing that. Like guys aren't going to just try to fuck you because you're like they are, but they're all like, if you're just confident with it and you're like, yo, what's up? Yeah. Oh, I'd love a spot. Like nobody's gonna give a shit.
But here in the open mic community, because I've seen it a lot, and I don't go to as many open mics as I used to, but I'm around a lot. Like after I work, I'll come here and hang out, watch an open mic, and just chill. It is very much if there was a new female comedian, I watch just
you want to fuck her?
Fucking no, I don't. I would never do that. I wrote that off a long time ago. Yeah. If there's a new one, I'm going to get her, then I'm going to kill her, and then she's gone forever. But there really is just a rotating door of all these male open mic dudes. Like, can I be the one that shows you how this works? I want to be the one that shows you how this works. I want to help you write. I want to help you get stuff. I'll show you where all the open mics are. Just let me see it. Just let me fucking see it.
Yeah.
They just want to see it. But then they don't just want to see it.
No, they want to do more.
Once they see it, they want to do more to it.
You can't just see a pussy in person and not do more.
No, you're going to at least
if you're a shitty open mic.
You at least want to thump it a little bit.
I feel bad for some of the dudes that end up befriending female comics and then like they have these weird relationships where you're just like you're at a bar and you just see like and she's like pretty hot and the guy's like not good looking or like short or like weird or looks like a child or whatever the fuck. And then they're just like hugging all the time and holding on. And you know that the guy's just like in love.
But it's not.
And the girl's
it's
just
not
like
that for her at all.
No, she's just like, I'm manipulating you.
Oh, that's happened. I won't say his name. I won't say her name either. But there was these comics that moved here. Where were they from? I don't even remember where they were from. But it was a whole group. The funniest guy in their group was like doing the best of all of them. Like you could just tell, like that's the guy that has it the most.
Right.
And he's gonna fucking kill it. And then he saw this other girl who was like running open mics, really attractive, probably year-end comic, and they kind of like hit it off. And he thought they had something really special. She saw it more as like, this guy's really funny. And if I'm around him and I hang out with him, it's probably going to help my comedy career.
Right.
But he didn't realize that's what it was. And then once he did, it ruined him. And he was gone. And now all those other people that came with him are doing good now. And I don't even know what happened to him.
I think he quit.
Yeah, I think he quit comedy fully because of her.
Because he fell in love.
Heartbroken and also just like felt manipulated and stuff.
But they actually did fuck and stuff.
Yeah, they were fucking.
I was more talking about the ones that don't even fuck and they're just like, we're brother and sister. Like, it's just like, what the fuck?
And they're just like, let me
Nobody wants to watch.
Can I just fucking see it?
Yeah.
That's just something that you have to say out loud.
But sometimes you'll see that happening and you'll be like, what the fuck? And then she'll look over and make eye contact with you and you're like, and she's like, I know.
But
you kind of
that's
like
sadder. I don't know, sorry.
There's so, and then also there's the other route too, where girls just come in and they fuck their way in.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
that's almost better though.
There's
That's
one
more
right now.
masculine.
But they're
guys
not.
are getting
the
something.
problem is, look, if you're fucking your way in, but you're an absolute killer,
And who gives
you got a lot of respect. But that's never happened. I've never seen that. It's always I'm fucking my way in, but I'm getting up there and I'm bombing my ass off.
Not even just mediocre.
No, not even mediocre.
I don't think I can think.
There's
of one.
There's one right now that I would say is probably worse than almost any like known comedian in this scene, like any like kind of working comedian, and she's starting to get more things just because she's plowing these like high profile comics, just getting to be around, be in green rooms, be around bookers and stuff, introduce yourself, get guest spots, stuff like that. And I don't think there's a lot of longevity in that. I think most women that are like attractive and fuck
Work
their
till
way.
you're 45.
Well, I mean, even Annie Letterman, like she's a comedian. Like she is funny. Like she goes up there and she has jokes. Like I'm shitting on it because I don't like it personally. I don't find it funny. And most people who watch it don't find it funny. But
Annie,
Ben does not
I'm
agree.
not part of this.
Also, I don't know her at all. And I've met her a couple times. She's very nice. I have no problems with her.
I follow her and I've never had the urge to unfollow her. I feel like when I really hate comics, if I follow them for a bit and I'm like, I can't.
Well, yeah, if I'm following a girl too and she's taking too long to walk home, like she's making a lot of stops and stuff, I'll stop following them too because I'm just tired. And I don't even feel like she's even going to have time for a shower tonight. There's no reason to go home.
I actually do think she's a good comic, and I think that
you think she's really funny and
I don't think
brave?
she's like fuck it, but that's just how it is right now, and part of it is that social aspect and social media and stuff, because it is a business now. Where I mean, it's always been a business, but it used to be you kind of just showed up and hoped a Jew picked you.
Yeah, well,
Whereas
being
now,
funny has never
it's
been
the same thing. Mark Zuckerberg.
Being funny for men and women has never been the main attribute. Because like, there's plenty of people who are funny and maybe their career goes fine, but they're not going to skyrocket as hard as the guy who was pretty funny, but also really good at talking to people and really good at like making connections.
Liza Schlesinger.
Yeah, she's worse.
She's worse.
Yeah. That would be one where I would be willing to openly say she just annoys me. Like I don't even know about
openly say she's bad.
I don't know if she's bad, but she like when
I've watched all her specials.
I watched her Rogan episode, and like just did the fucking like they were just not.
Well, you can tell that's very much someone
she's just brainwashed too much.
She shouldn't be where she is, but she's there.
Maybe, but I just find
it's a lot for them.
I just find when it gets too political where they're just like not willing to like I have my views, but if somebody came, if I'm talking to somebody like, well, I think that if you're dirt poor that you should be allowed to get something from the government, I wouldn't be like, no. You know what I mean? Whereas like I have a bit of leeway with my political views.
Yeah.
I just don't like when people are just like so staunch, like, no. Like Trump is evil 100% and there's no fucking like just like it's too.
It's like maybe
it's fake.
He's probably bad, but whatever. He's doing good over here.
Like no matter what, you gotta like hear it. If someone was like, here's the thing about Hitler. I'd be like, well, what's the thing about Hitler? Like, did he used to make birdhouses?
Even Rogan was talking about Hitler recently. He was like, "Have you actually heard what he was saying? Wasn't that bad?"
He actually like a pretty chill
Well, he
guy.
wasn't saying it wasn't bad, but it wasn't. People assume it's like gas the Jews, do all this stuff, but it was actually like more kind of like what they talk about now, equity and blah, blah,
I do
blah.
like about the fact that you were scared to talk shit about Andrew Letterman, but then you go on to call Joe Rogan a Hitler supporter.
Yeah.
Ben's got weird enemies in comedy.
No, he's not a Hitler supporter, but he did talk about.
But he probably does like him a little bit.
Well, no, but he was talking about the fact that nobody ever translates those speeches.
No, and it's true.
People just watch them. And
I saw
He's
that
just
clip.
so angry.
Yeah,
and it was actually a funny clip that he had, but I think it's, I mean, you know, people could see that either way, right?
Yeah.
Some people like that's not like a staunch opinion. It's just making a point that then people make opinions on.
For sure. Well, when you
Right.
label someone as evil, it's scary to even like.
Well, I think he
about the
also
fact,
labeled
like-
him as evil. He wasn't like
Well,
Hitler
yeah.
might have been a nice guy.
Oh,
He
no,
was
I'm
like
sure.
Hitler's evil, but nobody's ever actually listened to what he said.
Well, it is one of those things like when you look at every time you look into anything in history and you have this idea of like what that person was or what it was, the more you read about it, you're like, not that I like understand where they were coming from, but it makes more sense now that guy's just not pure horrific demon evil. Like
well, he was.
he did horrible. Oh, he did really bad shit, of course. Like
But
I
he was
don't
just
agree with
good at
anything Hitler
he was
did.
just like the people. He's just like the
But-
politicians now.
But I think that's things that lead to that too. I don't think it's just like you go into politics. It's like I'm going to enslave the Jews. I'm going to kill everybody. Fuck everybody. It's more like you get in situations where like
He just
was
had more
probably-
options.
He was already a bad guy
Like,
at
he
his
had-
core, and then it just things happen. It just makes
It's
you
not
more and
black
more
and
like
white.
now they're saying the same
It's
stuff
not black and white.
potentially. Like they're using the same arguments for things, but
Mhm.
the solutions like they just can't go as far.
But then you also, with all the Israel stuff now, I hear more and more like very liberal young people sounding kind of Hitlery because they're like,
Yeah.
Israeli people are super privileged and they have it better than anybody. And we need to round them up. And I'm like, whoa, we're rounding up
chill out.
Israelis? Do you remember what they are, guys?
Oh yeah, people are attacking Jews on the street at these fucking Palestine marches.
Well, it's the
terrible,
same thing.
man.
I mean, why did it happen then? Because they had extreme inflation in Germany.
yeah.
The Jews were still doing okay because they were smart enough to figure out how
Their
to put
big-
money away.
Big
and,
dirty fucking noses.
But, you know, they were smart enough to, okay, well, our
Exactly.
dollar's fucked, so let's go put our money in Poland or this country or that
Poland.
country or America. And people didn't like it. And that was part of that clip that Rogan put out was Hitler was saying, like, the Jews are the ones in all the, like, the prestigious positions and we need to get rid of that. And it's the same now where they're like, people are poor, inflation, and it's like, well, Jews are still doing good, so that means it's their fault. It's like, no, they're just smarter than you. So
Oh,
they
they're
didn't,
really good. Yeah.
they didn't. You're a Jew.
I'm a Jew.
And Hitler
Yeah,
ended
and we're
up
good.
just-
We're good at it. Like I get why people don't like us because we're kind of too good at it. It's like when
Yeah.
someone's playing chess in the park and he's just stomping everyone.
Well, we've been
No
doing
one
it a
wants to play
long
with that
time.
guy
We've been
anymore.
doing it since, you know, before Jesus, and then, you know, then like a Somalian comes here and they're like, why did the Jews have money? Well, because you were a pirate up until 10 minutes ago, and these guys have been
Yeah, you were-
invented banks fucking 3,000 years ago.
We've had banks since dinosaurs, dog.
little Jew raptors.
Yeah.
Little girls.
Like that's why Chinese and Asians generally they're pretty quiet. They never complain about Jews because they learn everything from the Jews.
Yeah, and they know where it can go.
They're like, if I save money for long enough, I will be able to afford a bank.
Wow, you went full Filipino on that.
Is that Filipino?
It sounded
That's pretty good though. I like
Sounded
it.
very Filipino.
No, Filipino's more like Mexican-y sounding.
Yeah.
Or like,
Hey, what the fuck?
no, like,
I'm Filipino.
I'm fucking Filipino, dude. It's so
I
hard.
don't know what to do with the TikTok. I don't know. That's more like Filipino. Right?
Yeah, more like a slowed down Speedy Gonzalez.
Chinese,
It's
like,
kinda-
I love our Jewish people.
It's all kind of the same accent.
Yeah.
You haven't changed it once.
That's well, Filipino would be like, I like to do with people. Jewish people.
Can you do the Chinese one again?
More like, bop, bop, bop. Oh, the Chinese is like, I moved to Old Austin, Texas to
Waiting bungo wah.
shoot a breakfast.
You do have a lot of Chinese people coming into Austin, Texas right now.
Yeah,
I hope not.
people love my Chinese accent a lot.
I
A little
love it
too
so
much.
much.
I have
I
a
love the Jewish people.
I have a character that I was doing that I stopped doing for a bit because it was getting out of hand. It was called the human monkey hybrid.
Really? That got out of hand.
Laboratory in Wuhan, China. And so because there was an article about it, right? And Alex Jones was talking about it. And so I just like put that article and then me with the monkey filter on Snapchat being like, I'm a tiny monkey. And I would just say all kinds of crazy shit. One of them got like, a few of them got 1 million views.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I did like a Thanksgiving one where I was like, I love America. It's a Thanksgiving where the pilgrim came. And like, it just, but then it became like every, I'd post like a video where it wasn't that and people would be like, just do the monkey. You know, and I was like, I gotta divest.
You're competing with your own creation, man. You gotta be careful.
I know it's terrifying. And then people even still message me like, "Is it possible the monkey's gonna come back?
Can we bring the monkey back?"
They don't even know it's you.
It's a bit of my secret.
Do you
weapon.
know the monkey? Do you maybe could call the monkey and see if he wants to?
No, I was thinking about doing that. Like, I might have the monkey. Like, it'd be sick to get some like fucking dry ice or something and have me sit up out of it. And be like, I'm in the cryogenically frozen. Ben Banga. I was calling myself Ben Banga.
Oh,
Ben Banga.
Is that my phone?
Well, Chris was doing a monkey character too, but it was like a George Floyd thing.
Yeah.
Did not land.
And then people also just somebody tagged Giannis Pappas on one of them and was like, "Does this look familiar to you?" And I was like, "There's no way this guy did a monkey thing." And I typed in Giannis Pappas monkey, and sure enough, 2015, he was doing a monkey face, not with a Chinese accent,
ripping off Giannis Pappas.
Well, people are like, "Oh, I'm like, I didn't. You think I watched Giannis Pappas in 2015? Like, what the fuck?"
Yeah, did any of you? Did anyone here watch Giannis Pappas? He's really funny. That guy's hilarious.
He's fucking hilarious. Yeah.
Him and Tim Dillon did a show early at the Mothership where they just came on stage and kind of goofed around with each other.
Yeah.
And like presented a showcase. And it's still one of my favorite shows I've seen.
That's dope.
They were just going off. Well, shit, we're late now, right? Yeah. Well, that was really fun, man.
You guys had a good time.
We can cut out the Annie Letterman stuff if you're really that scared. She's not seen that.
Cut out the Hitler part.
Well, no, keep the Hitler stuff. He's dead. Annie Letterman probably won't be dead.
Maybe when you said Joe Rogan was a Hitler supporter.
Yeah.
No, that's fine. You didn't.
Oh, fair enough.
You went back on that.
At one point, you said he is a Hitler supporter, Adam.
Huh?
You might have said that.
I kind of know him better than Ben does, to be fair, and he is. So, no, he's not. I don't think he is. I don't think he likes Hitler.
You've met him?
Yeah, I work for him.
Oh, yeah, we work. Everybody who works at there has met him pretty much?
Well, I will say when we first opened, he was really
Guys,
cool.
It's Joe, and he just comes out.
Well, opening night is kind of when we all got to meet him because he was just zonked on mushrooms.
Really?
He came into the lobby and just like met everyone and talked to us.
That's so cool.
Yeah, he's cool. Yeah, I mean, and also after like our shifts and stuff when we go on Mitzi's, it's kind of like in the hang. They're in there. Yeah, he's cool. Like he definitely created one of
the coolest hangs in the world for comedy. I'd say
it's cool, but it's also for a young comic. Yeah. It's very much like you appreciate what it is, but you're also like, I kind of want to leave.
I do think that scary, Austin, like when I first, like in 2020, the scene was really good if you were like starting, and now it's more of a mature scene. I think where you kind of have to have a bit of something behind you to get somewhere, otherwise, or suck a bunch of dicks or.
Yeah,
whatever, but which is a good thing, I think, because it's like if that's not the you wouldn't want to. If I was starting comedy right now, go start in fucking Tucson.
Don't start here. We've said that since
Seattle, or even New York. Now, starting is probably
we came
easier
here with four years of experience,
right?
And even then, it was hard.
And so you're at like 8. You're like 8.
I'm about to hit 8.
Yeah.
So when I meet people who moved here to start comedy here, I'm like, go back. Just go anywhere. Like any of the places you name.
Like I like when I
go
first
to Houston
came here,
or Dallas also, and then you can come here all the time. Like you start there. There's more clubs. It's more of a developmental scene. And not to shit on Houston or Dallas. Houston is actually a fucking incredible scene.
Yeah.
They're pushing out some really good comics. A lot of those guys are coming now down to the Mothership and becoming regulars over there. And they live in Houston. No, we don't let those. The white ones that come down here are really
But
good.
it is like having a following is super important now, where 10 years ago or even 5 years ago it wasn't as important.
Yeah.
Because it's it's not easy to do it, but it's possible
It's
to do it.
easier now with social media. You don't have to necessarily be that good to have a following anymore.
Yeah, because I do see some people. They're like, "Man, I don't know. I'm not getting anywhere." It's like on my 5 minutes is killer, and it's like, yeah, but you have 1,400 followers, so
yeah.
there's
and
no
just for me
business
too,
incentive.
I'm bad at like posting a lot of clips, and the thing is, when I do post, it does well. Like we had a clip from this get 9 million views.
Yeah,
Like if
saw it.
not that I don't want to, I want to, of course, do, but it's just like I haven't
It has to
committed
be an
enough.
obsession. It's an obsession for me, and I just kind of like if I'm not
And also, if I had a roommate that I co-host a podcast with, and he also was willing to make clips, that would make it so much easier. I wish I lived with somebody who could just do it.
I know,
Just
I'm
was
bad
on the
at it.
podcast.
I'm bad at that social media
It's
shit.
not a
man.
big deal. It's fine.
you can get good at it.
Our last YouTube video got 25 views. We're doing fine,
Oh,
Chris.
shit. Okay. Leave everything in.
We need it all.
Fuck yeah.
We were striding there for a little while.
Appreciate you guys having me on though.
Yeah, I appreciate you doing it, man. Do you have anything coming up you want to plug? This will come out this Friday?
I'm going on tour in America, my first American tour, starting in Boston. So,
Nice.
Nice, man.
Boston and Detroit, Red Bank, New Jersey, Portland, Maine, New York City, which is sold out at the New York Comedy Club. It's only 150, but pretty sweet.
not
That's a
bad.
pretty good
And,
sell.
there's some more shit there. Where else am we go? Orlando.
You have a couple shows here too,
Tampa.
right? Coming up.
Yeah, Orlando, Tampa, Dania Beach, Syracuse, Buffalo, Philadelphia, Albany, New York. Then honestly, just check me out, benbankas.com. Toronto, Canada. I was probably pretty proud of myself. We just sold out in like 2 hours.
Hell yeah.
In Toronto?
For a show in September. And yeah, I'm just grinding it out. So, but I'm here in the scene in Austin, so I pop into a bunch of shows. I'm doing an Austin show on June 15th again.
Mm-hmm.
I did one. It's called Sapien Center. It's
Oh,
a
nice.
really sick venue. They just like don't give a fuck about anything.
Fuck yeah.
And it's like off 6th. It's like on 7th.
Dope. Well, yeah.
Yeah, man. You should definitely do a spot on the 15th if you're free.
Yeah, you
Both you guys.
actually
Yeah.
already
Yeah, I
offered
offered
to
you.
move
Fuck
it. But I will do it
I'll throw you
also
out.
June
again.
15th, you said?
Yeah.
Okay, man.
Yeah, I'm down for sure. Hell yeah. Well, it's going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to that. Yeah, check out. Also, we have the live Filthy show here every Saturday at the Creek in the Cave. Roast Battle here every other Friday. Follow me _ Adam Luckey. Chris, what do you, Crease Comedy?
I'm at C Rees Comedy.
It looks like Crease Comedy. It
Yeah.
looks like it's like a fat joke, but either way, yeah. Guys, support this more. This is not going to last that much longer unless you guys, if you like this at all, show your grandma. Show your grandma's racist friends. I think they would really like it, especially when Ben was going off about how Joe Rogan loves Hitler. So, thank you. Wow, now you're
You got the
introducing
glasses now, dude?
Are you VRing right now? Is that the Google thing?
Yeah, I'm watching porn right now.
That's badass.
Even though it's illegal.
No, just one. Gay Pornhub's still legal in Texas.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for watching, everybody.